From Rupp Arena in Lexington, the 5th-ranked Kentucky Wildcats look for their 6th straight win against a team on the rebound, the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech. After sitting out all of last season, Jeff Shepard has returned to lead the Wildcats in scoring. Today, Shepard and his mates will have to deal with the ACC's active scoring leader, the versatile Matt Harpring. Rupp Arena in Lexington. Almost 24,000 on hand to watch the ACC and the SEC do battle. Number 23, Georgia Tech, in to meet the 5th-ranked Wildcats of Kentucky. And hi again, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler with Larry Conley. We welcome you to Lexington, where Tubby Smith's got his troops 5th in the nation, 7-1, doing it a little bit differently than they did this time a year ago, Larry, doing it with an inside game this year.
Brad, they have the luxury of having 2 great centers, and their numbers have been outstanding all year long. Nazir Muhammad is the guy who comes off of the bench, and here he is sitting on the bench. But now this is the guy that combines with Jamal McGlure, and combined, look at their numbers. That's an outstanding, outstanding group of numbers for that particular position.
For Georgia Tech, I think most people around the country know about the All-American candidate in Matt Harpring. What they may not know or haven't seen yet is the 3 freshmen that Bobby Cremins has.
And you're going to see 3 outstanding freshmen. And all 3 of these guys can play. Alvin Jones, the young man who is leading the nation right now in shot blocking. Then you look down to Travis Spivey, who is the distributor, a great passer from the outside, and maybe the best all-around freshman in the ACC in Deion Glover. At 6'4", 6'5", 210, he is a complete player. He is the big unit. He can play.
All right, we're going to get set for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets and the Wildcats of Kentucky. And Tubby and Bobby have done this all before. They get set to meet again when we come back.
ESPN's presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by Interstate Batteries. Power fast, built to last.
Getting set for the 68th meeting between the Wildcats of Kentucky and the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech from Rupp Arena, a packed house. As we check the starting lineups, first for Bobby Cremins and the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech, an all-freshman backcourt in Glover and Spivey. Maddox, a senior. Alvin Jones, a freshman. And Matt Harpring is second in the ACC in scoring. He's the leading rebounder in the Atlantic Coast Conference. For Tubby Smith and the Wildcats of Kentucky, Larry already talked about McGlure, who starts down low. Padgett and Edwards, the forward. Shepard coming off a couple of career-high games. And Wayne Turner also starts in the backcourt, a junior. Tubby Smith, first year as the head man of the Blue of Kentucky, but 7 seasons as a head coach. And as I mentioned, he and Bobby Cremins have been around the corner a couple of times, especially when Tubby was the head man at Georgia the past 2 seasons. And Bobby Cremins now second only to Mike Krzyzewski in longevity in the ACC. 17 years at the Flats in Atlanta and 312 wins later. Well, the ACC has 7 teams right now ranked in the top 25. That's amazing.
And then the Southeastern Conference follows that up with 5. How about 12 out of the 25? Nearly half of the teams out of 2 leagues, at least this early part of the season. You know what? I think it's completely justified, Brad. I think all 12 of those clubs are worthy of being in there as you look at the other teams. The Atlantic 10 with a couple, Big 12, Big East, and the Ivy League. Always Princeton floating around there, aren't they?
That's right. They're ranked 20th. They meet second-ranked North Carolina on ESPN tonight. Here's the Wildcats coming off a Final Four year. Lost in the title game to Arizona last season. Jeff Shepard, we mentioned, started off kind of slow, but the last 2 games, 21 in each, both tying career highs, and he's sort of taken over the leadership of this troop of Wildcats after his redshirt year sitting out last season.
And, you know, Brad, I really attribute a lot of his slow start to being off for that year. I mean, the ability to come back, and you can see now his game is beginning to come around.
We're all set. Andre Patillo, our referee, with Curtis Shaw and Carl Hess, the other 2 officials, and we're underway at Rupp.
Georgia Tech opens up in a straight man-to-man defense. Good matchup with Maddox and Padgett.
They pack it down low to McGlure. He kicks back outside. Nice move by Edwards to free up Padgett, wide open. And he missed outside. Here's the outlet to Maddox on the run. And he missed a layup. I don't know if he lost the handle going up, planning on stuffing it or not, but it kissed off the glass.
I think he was indecisive. He didn't know if he wanted to jam it or just lay it up over the rim. He didn't do either one.
And a foul down low on Padgett, trying to work to get position.
Foul is on Padgett. That'll be his first and the team's first.
Interesting that Georgia Tech was able to run out on Kentucky that time. Kentucky's defense, again, the full court pressure. Here it comes. When Pitino left, the defense didn't.
That's right. Georgia Tech feels that their game is more suited to Kentucky this year than it has been in the past few. They don't mind running and they don't mind pressing, but of course Kentucky does it about as well as anybody in the country.
Well, the thing I like about Tech is the fact that they've got depth this year, which is something Bobby Crimmins has not had for a lot of years down there at Tech.
Absolutely. And a foul. It'll be on Turner.
Foul is on Turner. It'll be his first and the team's second.
I fully expect Kentucky to come out here and press. And Brad, you were right. Something that Bobby Crimmins has been doing a lot so far in the early part of this season has been pressing. Something he's never done in the past. I mean, usually he just depended on his half-court defense. Here's a man that's having a great season so far for a freshman.
Third in the conference, as you see, Deion Glover, and he's got the first point of the ball game. A McDonald's and Parade All-American.
He's really a complete player. I mean, he does everything. He came out of high school very highly recruited. In fact, was highly recruited by Tubby Smith when he was at Georgia.
That's right.
Decided to go to Tech because he felt like he could go to Tech and start right away, which he is. If he'd gone to Georgia, a lot of veterans over there would have kept him out of the lineup.
Well, Deion just threw up his first air ball in a major arena here. But he's got the first point of the ball game, and we're 1 minute in. Turner, nice penetration, and Wayne goes to the hole and a chance for a three-point play.
One of the parts of Turner's game that I think has improved over last year is the fact that he's become more mature in looking at what he has to do. He battled Anthony Epps for this point guard position last year. Now it's his. They've just decreed that he's going to be the point guard, and he can do this so well. Once he gets by that initial defense and gets inside, he's tough to guard.
He was tremendous last year, the NCAA tournament, after he became a starter. He put up some impressive numbers, and he's got 3 here early and gives Kentucky a 2-point lead.
I think a lot of what Kentucky does this year is going to revolve around him. I think he's really an important cog in the wheel.
Here's Travis Spivey, the freshman point guard for Georgia Tech.
Kentucky's in a straight man-to-man defense right now. Shepard's got the responsibility for Glover inside.
Harpering works against Edwards, lost the handle. He lost that one on his own. Ball still loose. And last touched apparently by Edwards, who was kind of doing the Pele routine over there trying to avoid that ball, and I think he kicked it with his foot.
We should go back to South America because this one didn't work.
So the fans don't like the call. And Georgia Tech in the front court with Maddox.
Boy, Edwards doing a nice job on Harpering so far.
Nice dish to Harpering by Spivey, and lost the handle. Harpering saying it was off McGlure, and the officials deaf to that. So it goes back to Kentucky.
And immediately you see Travis Spivey coming out to pick Turner up. Tell you what, he'll have to get back on his heels a little bit because Turner's got some afterburners in there that'll force him down that lane.
You better get in your stance. Edwards gave up a 3. Turner now works the baseline. Nice drive, and Jones shows why he leads the country in rejections.
Whew. He's averaging just under 6 a game. He just got 1/6 of his average. Watch this one go back in about the 3rd row. Turner thinks he's got a good move, and he does against Spivey, but you got to always remember the big guys floating on the inside. Boy, has he helped Georgia Tech's defense. You gamble a little bit more when you know you've got a guy in there that can play like that.
His 36th block, and this was only the 7th Georgia Tech game. Nice lead by Shepard. McGlure had it blocked outside by Maddox. Got it back, went strong, no foul called, and now the shot clock expires.
Great defense by Georgia Tech that time. 2 blocks, one by Maddox on the inside, the other one by Jones. Made it very difficult for Kentucky to get any kind of shot, and Shepard just threw it up there. Look at Maddox come after the shot. That's a great block, and McGlure 6'10".
And then Harpering stood in, and he was feeling the effects a little bit, shaking his hand after going hard, trying to draw the charge. Here's Allen Edwards, 3-on-1, open court, Shepard.
Nice pass by Edwards. Drew the defense to him and left it wide open for Shepard on the right lane.
5-1 Kentucky. If they do so well, if they can get the ball in the open court with numbers, you could almost forget about it. Harpering. Strong inside move.
How many times have we seen him do that, Brad, over the last 4 years? He's been an outstanding player for Tech. Really, I think, was such a big positive move for him to come back for his senior year.
Absolutely. Thought about the NBA. Here's McGlure on a jump hook and Harpering the rebound. Harpering leading the conference, as I mentioned, in rebounds, almost 12 a game. Inside, Maddox had it stripped away.
Hey, you're going to see a lot of that today. Nothing will be clean. Somebody's going to get a touch on the ball, a little tip on the elbow. Very difficult to get anything clean. Look at this nice move to the inside. There's the strip by Shepard as he comes across. You know, one of the things they keep around here are deflections.
And charges taken.
I'd rather have the deflection.
I would too. Harpering the three, an air ball. McGlure, the outlet to Shepard.
Curtis Shaw blew the whistle. I'm not sure what for.
It may have had something to do with the shot clock, I believe. And they're going to bring it back and inbound in front of the scorer's table. At any rate, we're back underway.
What's Kentucky's offense now? They'll get a good screen down inside. They'll try to pop Shepard up top.
Here he comes. Glover stays with him.
And then they look to the inside.
Paget. Maddox blocked his second shot here in the first 2.5 minutes.
Right already, Georgia Tech with 3 blocks against Kentucky.
I think that's 3.5 minutes for all you math majors out there.
And you know there's somebody out there listening that say, hey, he didn't get it right.
You could just save the letter. Nazim Muhammad's checked in. McGlure goes out. Too much time.
Paget and Muhammad are arguing right now about who's supposed to go where. I came to practice yesterday, and they were running a dummy offense yesterday, and they bumped heads with each other and almost knocked each other out.
Glover on the outlet pass. It goes, and a chance for a three-point play. That's the second time Georgia Tech has thrown long, if you will.
You know, oftentimes when you're looking at a good, strong defense, particularly up front, that first wave, if you can beat it, throw over the top. Because oftentimes there's no one back there. Tech's been successful at it twice now.
Well, that was a picture-perfect pass to Deion Glover, too. And he'll have a chance to make it a three-point play and give Georgia Tech the lead. Missed his second free throw in a row. So we're tied at 5. Shepard for 3. Got it. He's been lighting it up out there.
Bad pass by Spivey. Kentucky got the steal. That's going to be backcourt. That's right. It's exactly right. He had to be standing in the front court. When the steal was made down underneath by Turner, that automatically gave Kentucky possession. When Edwards came back to get it, he had to be in front court. He had to establish the position. He did not have it. He was in the air coming across the midcourt line. Good call.
Flew right by us. Harpering and it stripped from behind by Turner.
Was he quick with those hands?
Spivey finds Glover in the corner, and he buries a 3. There's no freshman in this kid, is there?
No, Glover and Shepard trade threes.
Tied at 8. Edwards, nice reverse layup on the drive, but he missed the shot. Georgia Tech trying to run again. Harpering, too tough a catch, but a smart play and knocking it off Paget out of bounds. And we've got our first timeout. And we've got a deadlock game at 8 apiece with 15:41 to go in the half.
At 1 o'clock in Memorial Coliseum.
Tied at 8. 15:41 to go in the half. You want to see an all-state high school quarterback, what he does in an outlet pass?
Watch Matt Harpering here. Now, this is a true quarterback throw here. Tim Couch would have been proud to see that one let go. Nice move to the inside and an easy layup for Glover. That was the second of those that Tech's been able to get out over that Kentucky defense. Matt Harpering was an outstanding athlete at Marist High School. He played baseball, football, basketball. He chose the right sport.
Yeah, he did. More highly recruited as a football quarterback, though, than as a basketball player. You see Glover leads Georgia Tech with 6 points. And Larry, Tech has 6 points off Kentucky turnovers. That's normally the other way around. Kentucky has none so far.
So far, Tech staying in there pretty well. I went down to watch them play North Carolina State, which has been their only loss down at Georgia Tech last week. And thing that really killed them were their turnovers. I mean, they were really struggling taking care of the basketball. A little bit better today.
They lost that one 71-69 in overtime. As Larry said, that's their only setback. Kentucky's only lost to defending champion and then number 1 Arizona. Stripped by Turner again. And again, the ball comes free to Spivey. Harpering against Edwards. Fades on the baseline. And Turner tried to track it down. Boy, Wayne's all over the place. He just can't quite find the handle.
Loose balls right now seem to be going Tech's way. It's one of those intangibles. You never know. I mean, there's a lot of things you can measure in a basketball game, but those loose balls that you come up with are really important.
Georgia Tech still with its starting 5 on the floor. And Evans is checked in for Kentucky. He's guarding Maddox right now.
Good double down by Turner. He may have been late getting back. Good block the shot.
Turner blocks Spivey's three-point attempt.
How about that for defensive work? Go in, double down on the guy, and get back and block the shot of the man you left.
Nazr Muhammad.
Little fadeaway. How about that? Boy, has his game ever picked up, Brad.
Steal by Edwards. And he may have stepped on the baseline. He did.
Full court pressure giving Tech some problems right now.
And Bobby Cremins will go to his bench with that in mind. Jason Floyd checks in, as TJ Vines does as well. Another freshman point guard.
Watch again, Nazr Muhammad here. Good drop down inside. Now watch him look at this turn. Look straight up. It's a part of his game that is vastly improved from last year, is that little turnaround jump shot from about 10 or 12 feet.
Going to say, I must have, you and I maybe did 8 Kentucky games last year. I don't think I ever saw that move from him.
No, he's worked on that a lot in the summer and in the early fall period here. I'll tell you what, he and McGlory really put up some great numbers at that position. Watch him practice.
And Muhammad's still in the lineup here.
Watch him practice yesterday. Boy, do they ever get after each other. How about the luxury of having 2 6'10" guys battle each other every day in practice?
Saul Smith is checked in for Kentucky as well. Vines wide open, just off the bench, missed a 3, but Floyd will keep it alive. Harpering off the front of the iron. Shepard is fouled as he pulled down the rebound. It'll be Jason Floyd over the back.
Floyd, one of those 3 guys that come off of that bench to really give Georgia Tech a big lift, along with Machado and Vines. I talked earlier about Bobby Cremins having the luxury of being able to reach over there and grab some players. In the past, he usually has had 6 guys, and that's about all he's been able to play.
Playing 8 this year. That's an all-timer in his 17 years at Georgia Tech. Here's Smith against Vines, a couple of freshmen. Evans leaves it for Padgett. Maybe one too many passes. Still going to be Kentucky ball.
I thought Padgett should have gone up with that basketball. He was right in front of the basket and nobody there to really contest him. He might have been thinking about all those shots that Georgia Tech has blocked so far.
Could be. Machado's in there right now. Another pretty good shot blocker. Georgia Tech's backup center. So both teams with several players off the bench now in the lineup. Shepard looking for the again. They had trouble before. Smith was wide open, gave it to Evans. Boy, they're letting him play underneath. And Evans goes back up with it.
Well, talk about bench players. How about being able to reach down and grab somebody like Hashimu Evans? Transfer from Manhattan, and he's a terrific player, too.
Boy, he played excellent in the grade 8 up in Chicago off the Kentucky bench. Georgia Tech only 1 out of 5 from outside the 3-point line. And a little push, touch foul on Smith. Nope, it's not going to be on Smith. Take that back. Call it on Scott Padgett. That'll be his second.
Pretty tough to guard Maddox when he gets that ball in the block like that. When he's got his back to the basket about 6 or 8 feet out, he could spin either way. You're either going to foul him or he's going to get the basket.
Matt Harpering's going to get his first breather. And Edwards checks back in for Kentucky, so Padgett wasn't out there long. Maddox, good outside shooter, rattled out a 3. And Machado couldn't hold the rebound.
Tony Smith changed defensively that time. He brought Evans and switched him off and now has put him over on Maddox, which I think is a better matchup. From a quickness standpoint, Evans much better guarding Maddox than Padgett on Maddox.
Edwards holding his wrist or left hand and may even have a little blood on it. I'm not sure because he's come to the sideline. Cameron Mills is going to come into the lineup. Maybe. They're still looking at Edwards' hand, and now he may have to sit at least for a play with Mills having already checked in at the scorer's table.
Well, the other fact, too, is that the trainer came out and administered whatever it is he's trying to help his wrist, trying to put whatever it is that they need to heal it. He's gone back to the bench now, so he's got to be replaced.
So right now it's Mills and Turner, Smith, Muhammad, and Evans on the floor for a much smaller Kentucky five.
Good defense by Georgia Tech, fighting through the screens. Boy, doing a nice job on Mills. Good switch that time by Tech.
Evans, a left-hander, got open on the baseline. Oh, a tough rebound by Cameron Mills. They may call a foul underneath, though, against Nazir Muhammad.
Now, that was kind of interesting. He had the inside position, and the official said he reached around and grabbed the guy who was on back of him.
I don't think Tubby was too excited about that call.
Tubby looking resplendent today with that vest on, huh?
Very. Glover open for three. Tech can't find the range from three-point land now, but Jones can from the paint.
Boy, that was a big-time rebound right there on the miss by Glover. One freshman missing, the other freshman grabbing and sticking it back in.
Kentucky by a deuce, just under 13 to go first half. The word we got from the Kentucky bench is that Jeff Shepard has lost a tooth. A little bit physical here early. And a foul out before the shot.
Foul is on Machado.
Pablo Machado picks up the foul.
Well, Shepard's lost a tooth, and they still got Edwards over there working on his hand.
That's a tough day at the office for both of them. Jeff may be having soup for dinner. Evans battles for the rebound on the backside. Mills is an excellent three-point shooter. A little bit short. And Glover will clear it off.
The club lighting it up right now from the field. Machado trying to establish position against McGlure on the inside. He got it.
Outside three for Georgia Tech. Again off the mark.
Look at
Jones. Had a hand on it. But McGlure clears it out to Mills. 2-on-1. Evans and Mills.
Nice break. Good handle of the break. Good spread. Had the good angle for the pass.
14-10 Kentucky.
Saul Smith out picking Vines up a little bit further out. Kentucky has stayed in their man-to-man for most of this first half.
Glover right now the top scorer for Georgia Tech with 6 of their 10. Nice entry pass to Machado. He'll kick it back outside. 6 on the shot clock. Glover on the fly.
How about that for a move, Brad? They thought he was going to take the three. He makes a little fake and then goes deep with it.
Georgia Tech doesn't get back on defense, but McGlure can't handle the down court pass, and it goes out of bounds on the Kentucky turnover. But the Wildcats continue to lead by a deuce with 11:27 remaining first half.
Kentucky leads 14-12. I want to show you Deion Glover right here. Now, once he gets the ball, watch the defense go out to defend. McGlure will make a move to defend, but watch the move made by Glover as McGlure comes out. See, he leaves his man, sees the opening, and seizes the opportunity. Went straight to the glass. Nice move by Deion Glover.
Got an automatic screen from Jones down low, and it made it easy. And Glover right now leads all scorers in this game. Jeff Shepard coming back in. The injury to Shepard and to Allen Edwards, they were both going for a loose ball rebound. Edwards' left hand hit Jeff Shepard, his own teammate, in the mouth, broke part of Jeff's tooth off, and in the process cut Allen Edwards' wrist. No stitches necessary, but he had to be wrapped up on the sideline over there to stop the bleeding. So the teammates collide, and both end up the worse for wear right now, I guess. Georgia Tech couldn't get the inbound, so they call a quick timeout. And we've got enough timeout to remind you that you can get the college basketball package that can't be beat. It's ESPN Full Court. Order today and have hundreds of extra hoops games available night after night. Call DirecTV at 1-800-GET-SPORTS or your local cable company. 14-12. Kentucky leads this one with 11:27 remaining in the first half. Kentucky and Georgia Tech, neither team shooting very well, and Georgia Tech having all kinds of trouble from outside the three-point line. Only 1 of 8. But they're hanging in with the number 5 Wildcats.
Both of these coaches play excellent defense. Good man-to-man, good help defense.
Floyd's going to try 3. That's 1 for 9 now for Tech. And Matt Harperin's going to be called for a push Trying to get a rebound underneath. That'll be his first.
Evans had the better position on the inside. Anytime you've got that inside block, you're not going to get that rebound against a guy like Evans, who spreads out, blocks out well, and also jumps well.
Myron Anthony into the Kentucky lineup for the first time.
Well, Tech did a nice job closing down on those outside shooters. When Kentucky's guys got the ball outside, they're all over, and that's going to be Tech's ball.
Wayne Turner kicked it himself. That's the 8th Kentucky turnover. That's unlike Kentucky. Normally it's the other team that's having trouble handling the ball. First time in over 3 weeks for Tommy Smith on the home floor. It was, what, November 20th, I believe, the last time they had a home game. Extended trip of 11,500 miles they have traveled with various preseason tournaments and on the road.
Oh, it's 5 different time zones?
Yeah, something like that. And another foul.
Foul is on Jones. That is his first and the team's 5th.
Alvin Jones picks up the foul, so that gives it right back to Kentucky. Bobby Cremins kind of kicking on the sideline over there. Kicks the imaginary can. Both these coaches would like to kick their teams in the can right now. I think it's been kind of sloppy the last 4 minutes.
That would be the least they'd like to do. Nice job by Glover closing down on Evans. Good switch by Spivey on Shepard.
They pack it into McGlure. He's double teamed. Harpering on Turner. Evans got open. Off the mark. And running it down is Spivey. Going to have to slow it down. The numbers are against him. Harpering backpedals and drills it.
You know what? He does that so well. It's not a jump shot. It's more like a set shot.
That's right.
He just flexes his knees and goes straight up and just lets it go.
For the second time today, Georgia Tech leads by 1. Turner, all kinds of traffic in that lane. Shepard's wide open. The 3 rattled out, and Harpering will clear it. Looked to go down court to Glover, had him open, and he's upset he didn't let go with that pass.
Yeah, he wanted another one of those post patterns.
Georgia Tech threw it right by Machado.
And once again, Bobby Cremins stomping in front of his bench over there. These turnovers are killing Tech right now. Same thing that happened against them in North Carolina State and Georgia Tech the other night.
For Georgia Tech.
And if somebody would have told Bobby that with 9.5 to go in the first half, he could be in front, he'd take that probably. But you're right, absolutely. Both teams turnover prone here in the first half. Brad Nessler and Larry Conley with you from Rupp Arena in Lexington. Packed house as it is always for this Saturday afternoon matchup of ACC and SEC, and Shepard loses it out of bounds.
Brad, that's just simply a forced pass. There was nowhere to get that ball in there, and Bradley tried to force it in. When the defense is that close on the cutter, you cannot make that pass. Simply rotate the ball, reverse it, and start your offense again.
Shepard's already lost a tooth. He's lucky he didn't lose an ear on that pass. Glover always looking to try to take the shot. That time tried the entry pass, and again the great quick hands of Wayne Turner.
You know, that ball was almost by him. I mean, the pass was almost over his head, and he reached behind his head and slapped it away.
He must have 5 deflected passes already in this first half.
He had 8 steals against George Washington.
Right. That was a school record. That's a nice entry into Maddox with a left hand. It comes out, but it's tipped in.
Jones with a nice tip.
Jones can get up there. The 6'11" freshman gives Georgia Tech a 3-point lead.
Traveling down on the inside, and another turnover for Kentucky. Once again, Jones's presence is creating a lot of problems for Kentucky down there. I think their reluctance to try to put it up there because they know that Jones may swat it back.
Boy, Kentucky's on about a 35 turnover pace the way they're going here.
Not very pretty for the Wildcats.
Harpering got 3, and that 3-pointer came out. Again, Jones, it keeps it alive. Maddox from the free throw line.
Bradley actually knocked it away from McGlure to allow Maddox to get the ball and get the shot.
How about this? Georgia Tech with a 5-point lead. Now the fans realize, as they have been kind of asleep during this 9-0 run, that they've got to get in the corner of their team and get them back in the game. That's kind of a rarity in this building.
High pick and roll for Shepard. McGlure didn't roll.
No, he didn't roll. Now he finally does. It was too late, and it's stolen by Jones. Another Kentucky turnover. Georgia Tech by a handful with 8 minutes left in the first half. Harpering. Tech works it back around the perimeter.
Harpering wants it over here by himself. He's trying to free it out front.
Glover took an air ball over Shepard. Forced that one. That's going to happen to a good shooter, but I don't think he's got the conscience to worry about it. 7:46 remaining in the first half. A little surprise going on here in Lexington. Number 23, Georgia Tech, surprising 5th-ranked Kentucky right now by 5 with 7:46 to go in the half. Mind you to stay tuned to ESPN following our game, the NCAA Division II College Football Championship. Chargers of New Haven take on the defending champion Northern Colorado this afternoon in the title matchup. The Division II championship game today, 2 o'clock on ESPN. Rich Waltz and Sean Salveri are standing by to bring you the call of that game. Look at the points off turnovers and the ugliness for Kentucky with that dozen turnover.
Tech's taking full advantage of it.
Georgia Tech leading by 5 and with the ball. Harpering to 3. A little short. Rebound comes off to Anthony. Smith now working the point for Kentucky. Edwards, nice feed into McGlure, and he missed a jam. Wow, nothing's going right now.
Tech wants to get the ball to the Maddox inside. They've got him. Good defense.
On the double team, back to the outside.
One of the things Kentucky does very well defensively is get that off guard to go down and double up and then move back out when the ball comes out.
Little give and go. Maddox and Spivey. And Michael Maddox buries a 3. He's an excellent 3-point shooter. The 6'9" senior out of Mays High School in Atlanta has given Georgia Tech a 22-14 lead. Georgia Tech 11-0 run in the last 5 minutes. There's a nice move with a left hand from Jamal McGlure.
And he got it up over Jones. You know, oftentimes if you go to the shot blocker and you're right next to him, tough to block a shot when you got him right next to you. It's when he's about 2 or 3 feet away, he has that chance to swat it.
Feed inside, Harpering working against Mills. Glover way outside.
Boy, I'll tell you, if you've got Glover and Maddox burying 3s outside and Harpering working the inside with Jones, that's going to be a tough combination to beat.
Georgia Tech's lead is 9. And you could hear a pin drop in this place right now. Good entry pass again to McGlure, and again the left hand. This time last touched by Anthony, trying to get the offensive rebound, and Georgia Tech will have it.
Kentucky continues to press. It's a good idea to have Harpering handling the basketball. He's a good passer.
And now Travis Spivey says, clear out, let me do this thing myself. Number 11 brings it up against number 11. A couple of freshmen you'll see a lot of in the next 3.5 years in the ACC and the SEC. Maddox again got position, had it blocked by McGlure. And then a foul on Michael Maddox. Trying to scramble for that loose ball.
It's one of the few times we've seen Kentucky be able to help on the offside. You'll see McGlure come off of his defensive position to the center and make a nice play. Anthony goes for the steal, misses it. Watch McGlure come from the center position. Good block, and that got Kentucky the basketball back after Maddox committed the foul.
McGlure had 5 blocks against Morehead State. That's his 19th of the year. He leads the Wildcats in that category.
You got 2 guys that can block shots in this game.
Well, you got that right. The lead remains 9. Kentucky looking for some offense from somewhere. Edwards, nice crossover dribble against Harpering. Here's Chimu Evans, missed the jumper, got his own rebound, and it's swatted out of there by Maddox. Harpering now on the break. Lost the handle going up, they'll call a foul on Smith.
But once again, the defense of Georgia Tech actually got their offense in gear. Another block shot. They got it to the length of the court. Got a nice toss down to Harpering, and he got fouled. Georgia Tech doing it all right now, Brad.
And Kentucky doing very little right.
As I recall, this is either their 4th or 5th block shot. After Evans takes this shot, watch it come back. He tries to go back up again. Look at the swat. Bang. And once again, they got the good long throw to the other end.
Harpering will go to the free throw line.
6 for Matt Harpring.
I like the way Georgia Tech's playing today.
Yep.
I mean, they're playing an outstanding game, a smart game.
Look at the ranking for Matt Harpring in the top 10 in both points and rebounds. And there haven't been too many Tech players who have been able to pull that off. Rich Youngkus, Tom Hammonds.
Here's that trap I was talking about Bobby Crimmins has been using this year. They're very effective with it. They've got quickness at the positions out there that they need to have, and that's up front in the press.
James Forrest is watching someplace. James, I didn't mean to neglect you on that top points and rebounds category. Evans, nice move.
Not only did he get it over Harpring, but he also got it over the outstretched hand of Alvin Jones, who was right there to knock it back.
That momentarily ends Kentucky's drought. And now Georgia Tech gives it up.
Crowd's a little antsy in here. They
Yes,
want some
they
action.
are.
They haven't seen their club play here at home for about 3.5 weeks, and they want to see something happen. That's why they're antsy.
Only 2 field goals. That's a long dry spell. Anthony cut off by Harpring. Edwards got a nice pick. A lot of motion going on top and not much else right now. Evans has been the guy.
Used the rim to protect the ball that time. He got on the other side. Jones can't stick his hand through the net.
That cuts it to 7 as we approach 4 minutes in the half.
Evans has been the one shining star in this first half so far for Kentucky.
And for the first time, it sounds like Rupp Arena now. Glover trying to leave it inside to Harpring, does, and immediately it gets quiet again.
What a terrific play by Deion Glover. Go back and take a look at the earlier play by Evans as he reverses the ball on the other side against the glass. Jones tried to get there to reject it, but Evans once again having a pretty good offensive first half, at least for what Kentucky's been able to do.
The foul on Evans, and Matt Harpring will go back to the stripe.
You know, Brad, we've talked a lot about Deion Glover and what he's been able to accomplish as a freshman on this club so far this year. I mean, he's averaging 19 a game. One of the things he does very well is pass the basketball. I mean, we've talked about his scoring ability, but he is an excellent passer.
Georgia Tech with a 10-point lead with 3:56 to go first half. Georgia Tech with a double-digit lead with 3:56 to go in the first half.
Brad, take a look at this great pass by Glover. Now look at Harpring get his good position there. He gets to the inside. Ooh, that might have been a carry. He picked it up and got it back to the inside. Harpring gets the foul. But once again, a terrific move to the inside of the baseline, and Glover drops it back off to Harpring. I like this young man. He leads his club in assists. He's averaging 4 a game to go along with that 19-point-per-game scoring average.
Yeah, great presence for a freshman, for anyone for that matter. Little different under Tubby, the numbers, rather than under Rick Pitino. Pitino, a higher scoring team, more of a 3-point team. Rick's got his own jersey up there. He's got 3 Wildcats wearing Celtic green right now. Tubby Smith in his first year, a 7-1 club that is struggling here in the first half of this matchup with Georgia Tech.
Tech goes to their first zone.
Well, here's Evans underneath. He's been the guy that's been the salvation. This thing could be a little bit more out of hand, but Ishimu's got 8.
Harpring's still battling inside. He's got Turner in there. It'll be a mismatch if he can post him up.
Jones works to a baseline jumper, way too strong. And a foul's going to be on Jason Floyd, trying to pick up the backside rebound.
Foul is on Floyd. That is his second and the team's 7. Both teams moving in the bonus.
9-18 finish last year, and only 3-13 in the ACC, and so subpar by Georgia Tech standards in his 17 years. And everybody in Atlanta wondered, now what? Well, they're 5-1 right now, and they're ranked 23rd in the country. That's what so far, and they're doing it with 3 freshmen starting. Not bad.
You know, Brad, I had a conversation with him at practice yesterday, and we were talking about that very thing. He says, you know, last year, he says, when the season was over, I told my staff, we need to do 2 things. One, get Matt Harpring back and have an outstanding recruiting class, and he's done both of those things.
Absolutely. Spivey, nice cross court to Floyd. Good ball movement down to Jones, but he lost the handle. And Turner comes the other way. Shepard on the fly.
He gets it that close. You're not going to get it away from him.
Not the way he can jump. And Tech gives it up again. Edwards on the outlet.
Evans with a follow. Oh! Foul before.
I think you can wave that one off.
Alarm clock just went off, Brad.
Hey, it was an early start today.
Whoa. Watch this catch by Edwards. He goes up. He gets the bump. Good call. Don't bother that shooter. But look at this follow by Evans. I'll tell you what, he's been all over the floor tonight.
Has he ever? So Allen Edwards played with that left wrist wrapped after a collision with his own teammate's mouth.
Watch again. You'll see Jeff Shepard pick the basketball up after Turner gets it. Now he pushes it forward. Look at Shepard with this nice move. Glover tried to block it. He ducked under him and got an easy one off the glass. Shepard shaking those cobwebs out after a year's layoff.
And shaking off the 11,500 miles that Kentucky has traveled. I said, Jeff, when did you guys get the most tired? He said, I think when we came back from Hawaii and had to stop in Phoenix and play, we were all pretty dead right there.
Pretty good outing, though, against Clemson.
30-25. Kentucky has cut it down to a 5-point Georgia Tech lead. It was once 11.
Tech being a little bit more patient now with the basketball.
15 on the shot clock. Harpring got away from his man, goes up against a double team and got it off the glass.
You know, 3 or 4 times a game, he'll make some really difficult shots, and that was a tough one there.
11 for Harpring. 11 for Glover for Georgia Tech. Turner off the dribble.
Got it. Nice shot. He got it up over Vines. He had Vines reeling. He was back on his heels, and he took advantage with a nice little 8-foot jump shot.
Just over 2 to go in the half. Georgia Tech leading by 5. And again, one-man pressure from Turner. Now the double team. Machado wide open on the baseline, missed an easy one. Turner all the way. And it came out somehow, but McGlure skipped it back in there.
Always hang around that basket. You might find something.
Kentucky's thinking tie or lead now by halftime, when once they trailed by double digits. Glover, did he run out of real estate on the baseline? Yes. 1:29 left in the half, and Kentucky trailing only by 3. Tubby Smith wants a 20 and gets it.
Glover made a nice move on that baseline. In fact, he looked like Barry Sanders trying to walk that sideline.
Well, he hit the chalk line out of bounds. Now they're having fun now at Rupp. They weren't for most of this first 20 minutes. We've got a lot more hoops coming up on both ESPN and the Deuce. Coming up on ESPN2 tonight at 7. Jim Herrick and his sensational point guard Tyson Wheeler and the Rhode Island Rams play host to the Runnin' Rebels of UNLV. College hoops on the Deuce tonight at 7. And don't forget, we've got the Division II NCAA football championship following us, and more basketball. North Carolina Princeton tonight, so a full day of sports on both the mothership and the Deuce. Now to 120.
Good double team by Georgia Tech.
McGlure found himself all alone in the paint and then was fouled by Matt Harpring.
Well, Turner made a nice play to get out of that double team. He knifed his way through both defenders and got it to McGlure. Georgia Tech doing some nice things defensively. I like what they're doing on the D end.
Shimu Evans off the bench. He's the leading scorer for Kentucky. Shepard 7 and Turner 5. And Jamal McGlure 4 points so far in his first trip to the free throw line.
This is not a piece of real estate he feels comfortable at.
55% last year, 53% coming into this one. And you see why. Evans got the offensive rebound, though. Edwards alone for 3. Got it!
Boy, give Evans credit. Battled for that board, and it got a 3 for Edwards.
And we're tied for the 3rd time today, but it looked pretty dismal for Kentucky, but now it's 32 apiece. Glover shags down his own miss. And threw it away. Kentucky's all alone. Edwards by himself.
Well, when I said the alarm clock went off, they hit the floor running.
Harpering. Machado and now Floyd to try to regain the lead.
That's big. That's a big basket for Georgia Tech. A little momentum for them and a confidence builder.
35-34. Tubby Smith calling the play as Wayne Turner brings it up.
Spread the floor. You got to believe Turner's going to go on one-on-one. If they come to him, if they double up on him as he goes down the lane, somebody's going to be open.
He better hurry. Here he goes. He kicks outside Shepard at the buzzer. It rimmed out, and Georgia Tech will lead at halftime as they have led for a good portion of the game. Georgia Tech led 27-16 at one point. Lost their lead, regained it right before halftime. They're up 35-34 over number 5 Kentucky as we send it to the studio and Reese Davis. Reese.
All right, Brad, thanks a lot. And maybe Kentucky's still feeling just a little jet lag from that 23 days worth of traveling, but the Cats found their legs late. They're right back in at Tech, up by 1 point. Coming up here on our halftime report, Dick Vitale is going to check in with us. And, you know, some guys may be getting lots of PT, but not enough PR. Dick will take care of that and all of the other hoop news coming your way after the break.
ESPN's presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by the new Dodge. It's about change.
At one point, Georgia Tech had an 11-point lead, but the Cats stormed back, and it's the Jackets by 1 at the break. Hello, everybody. Glad to have you with us on our halftime report. Georgia Tech and Kentucky kicking off a day of college basketball here on ESPN. You know about a lot of the stars that are already making waves in the game. Rafe LaFrentz, DePaul Pierce's, Mike Bibby's, Antoine Jamison. But there are other guys who are just as instrumental to their teams who might not be getting quite the same acclaim. Well, who better than Dick Vitale to crank up the Unheralded's PR machine?
Hey, when we talk about great players in college basketball, obviously we know about Rafe LaFrentz, the great player down at Kansas. We know about Antoine Jamison, but I'm going to lay on you 5 really underappreciated players. They're appreciated by their coaches, but they don't get a lot of ink. They don't get a lot of publicity. My backcourt, we start with a kid in Nebraska. I'm not talking about Scott Frost, their great quarterback. I'm talking about Danny Nee's quarterback, Tyronn Lue. Lue is outstanding. He can penetrate, he can score, he can flat out create. My second guard, a scoring guard, he's improved his ball handling. We talk about North Carolina. The guys that get all the publicity are guys like Jamison and certainly Vince Carter. But what about Shammond Williams? He makes big shots, baby, and he can really knock down that trifecta. In the middle, what about Utah? They got a big kid. He'll play at the next level. He'll be a backup center in the NBA all his career probably. But he's an improved player. Mike Doliak, this 7-footer, could score on the box. And he has great touch for a big player. What about my small forward? Hey, let's go to Providence. Peter Gillen's got a dynamite one. And Jamel Thomas, a big-time scorer, a slasher. He can really get to the rack. Hey, we talk about my power forward. You watch out this year for Ole Miss. Mississippi's going to be sensational. And one of the reasons, the guy in the low box. I'm talking about Ansu Cisse. This power deluxe guy is something special. Hey, those are my all underappreciated players. I'm going to get them a lot of publicity. I'm going to give them a lot of notoriety. They deserve some PR, baby.
And you are just the man to deliver that. In the ACC today, some key games coming up. Top-ranked Duke has just looked invincible so far, taking on Michigan. And don't forget, the Wolverines beat the Devils at Cameron by 1 last year, so the Blue Devils certainly will be out for revenge at Chrysler Arena. Duke has scored at least 93 points in their last 5 games, and those freshmen just getting it done. 2 o'clock, you got Clemson taking on Illinois. 70, the magic number for the Tigers. 0-2 when allowing 70 points or more. Illinois 5-0 when they score 70 points. Tough stretch of games ahead for Illinois. Clemson and Texas, Missouri, UCLA, and Indiana all before they start Big Ten play. Maryland, Baltimore County taking on Maryland without a hyphen. The Terps have won 55 straight home games against non-conference foes. Their last loss back in December of 1989. And Virginia taking on Sonny Smith and VCU. Game being played at Richmond. UVA coming off just thumpings at the hands of Duke. UConn handled them as well by 11 points. And don't forget, tonight on ESPN, our second top 25 battle of the day. We mentioned the day of college basketball, and this is a terrific matchup. Number 20, Princeton, their precision offense, taking on the talent and the skill level of North Carolina, ranked 2nd in the country. But right now, we've got Tech and Kentucky. Jeff Shepard taking it strong to get the Cats back in, and Tech up by 1 at the break. Back at halftime, Georgia Tech leading Kentucky down at Rupp by 1, 35-34. Well, later this afternoon, Cincinnati's going to take on Xavier. And as you know, point guard for the Bearcats, Charles Williams, will not be eligible to play. He is eligible to return for the final 6 games of the season, but he withdrew from classes last week, and Iowa State is investigating the possibility of bringing Williams aboard and possibly getting him eligible by mid-December, possibly by the 19th or the 20th. Some are terming this a long shot, but Iowa State does have a shot, and Williams has retained an attorney to try to get this done. A couple of games last night in the top 25 you might have missed. Utah, they just didn't want to have a test before finals, Rick Majerus said, and they didn't. They beat Azusa Pacific by 20, the debut for 6'9" freshman Britton Johnson, who's had a knee problem. Highly talented guy, scored 7 points, grabbed 7 boards in 11 minutes. Although Majerus said he was awful, but he expects him to get better. Purdue blew out Tennessee Martin 87-56. Chad Austin, Jerron Cornell with 25 points each. Brad Miller did not play in that one. He had an injured elbow. The Boilers will play San Francisco tonight for the Boilermaker Invitational title. If you just can't get enough of the high-flying action and the streaks to the hoop in college basketball, well, we've got something for you coming up on ESPN2. It's called College Hoops Tonight. Comes your way Sundays following Conference USA basketball. Dave Feldman and Quinn Buckner are your hosts for that. We're back right after this. Georgia Tech on top of Kentucky by 1 at the half here on ESPN College Basketball. And we've got some college football for you now. 1AA semifinals, McNeese State taking on Delaware. Second quarter, no score. The Cowboys, Blake Frazion has his pass picked off by Darrell Green, and Darrell's looking for some running room, and he found it for a while. The Blue Hens would capitalize on the turnover. Craig Cummings gets the carry, bust into the end zone, 7-yard score, 7-0 Delaware. But McNeese would come right back. William Davis getting loose and sprinting in from 14 yards out. That ties the game at 7. And then it's Frazion. You saw him throw an interception, and now he splits the defense with a great pass to Damian Morris. Just a strike in there, 71 yards. That gave McNeese a 14-7 lead, and that's where they stand at halftime. Delaware has won 11 straight games. Don't forget, you'll see the 1AA finals next week here on ESPN. Winner of this one takes on the winner of Youngstown and Eastern Washington.
ESPN's presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by the Braun Oral-B Interclean, as effective as floss and easier to use, and by Hyundai and their full line of exciting new cars. Hyundai, where driving is believing.
Halftime at Rupp Arena in Lexington, and Georgia Tech tried to shock the Commonwealth. The number 23 Yellow Jackets leading 5th-ranked Kentucky 35-34. Welcome back, everybody. Brad Nessler, along with the newest inductee into the Kentucky Sports Hall of Fame, I might add.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Congratulations. The Wildcats in this first half trailed by 11. Had it not been for Hishimu Evans, it could have been a very ugly first 20 minutes.
I tell you what, the first half for him was as good as anybody has had on this floor this year. To watch again and some of the work he was able to do. Most of it on the inside. Look at the turnaround move against Harpering right here and over Jones off of the glass. Watch the second move to the inside once he catches the reverse off of the glass. Hishimu Evans has got a lot of maneuverability inside. Good catch on the air ball and the stick back. Hishimu Evans was outstanding. Not only can he get the ball on the inside and maneuver, getting it up and in, but watch this rebound, the kick out to Edwards, which was a big three for Kentucky to give them the lead, if only temporarily. Watch again as Matt Harpering on the other end for Georgia Tech, inside against Edwards. Couldn't get it. Watch him come outside and get it. Look at this tough shot inside against that Kentucky defense. Matt Harpering, a workhorse.
And there's the numbers in the first half. 42% Kentucky, 39 for Georgia Tech, but they kept afloat by those 3-pointers, 5 out of 16. You see the points off turnovers even. Kentucky, that last 4 minutes, put together a 14-5 run. It was actually 14-2 if you took out Jason Floyd's 3-pointer in the final 30 seconds or so. So it was a game of streaks in the first half. Georgia Tech went on a 17-2 tear over a 7-minute stretch. Then Kentucky's that closed the gap. Georgia Tech with a 1-point lead as we start the second half in Lexington. And the starting fives for both clubs on the floor.
Tech did a nice job on offense. Good screens, high post screens.
Harper missed Maddox on a cut, and now Michael does it himself.
Ooh, he's sweet with that little move down underneath, isn't he?
3-point Georgia Tech lead.
Good turn on the baseline.
Scott Padgett was held scoreless in the first half. Here he
played
is.
5 minutes.
Edwards gives it back to him. Well, he's short now.
Nice job by Edwards delivering the pass. Edwards gets enough credit for his passing. That was a good one. In fact, that's his 4th assist of the afternoon.
And Spivey throws it away.
Well, Jones took a real tumble. He jumped right up over the sports writer's table down there. Yeah, he's okay.
That was some kind of effort, I'll tell you that much.
Watch again. Watch Alvin Jones. He wants this ball. Heads up, guys. Here I come.
Whoa.
Oh, man. That's dangerous.
That'll clear press row. Norman Airy, that writes for the Atlanta Constitution, just about took it in the chops.
Yeah, but you see him bail.
A lot of people wanted to give Norman the chops, you know, over the years, but not that way. Feet first. Maddox turned his ankle a little bit as he went down, trying to stay with Padgett. McGlure had position and didn't use it. I don't think he realized Jones was so out of position defensively. Here's Turner, leaves it for McGlure, and he got it.
Now that's a smart play. Turner recognizing Jones is coming to pick him up defensively, knows McGlure's got to be open. McGlure rolls, picks up the ball, and they get an easy one.
Georgia Tech a little bit out of whack here as Kentucky's back in front, and they're going to take a timeout to talk things over.
Here is why Wayne Turner is so dangerous. He drives down into that lane of penetration, and he knows, oh, McGlure made a nice move holding on to that ball. Maddox almost blocked it.
Kentucky has regained the lead here in the first 1 minute and 18 seconds of the second half. Kentucky's moved back in front here in the opening moments of the second half, 38-37. Georgia Tech a little bit sloppy in the first couple of minutes of this half and called the timeout. There's what their freshmen have done so far.
Not much out of Spivey, but Glover having another good afternoon, and Alvin Jones, see those 4 points and 2 blocks. He's altered a few shots down there too, and also has caused some offensive thinking Kentuckians to maybe decide not to take some of those shots down in there.
I think Alvin also getting his near his elbow wrapped after that spill he took coming up over the press table, and he missed most of that timeout being attended to. See if the Kentucky pressure is a problem for Georgia Tech here. This time Spivey, nice penetration, but he walked with it before the dish. That was a good call. He slipped just a little bit. It was a nice pass, but one too many steps.
Right, I thought there was a pretty good timeout taken by Bobby Crimmins. He didn't want to let this game get away from him, but he certainly didn't want to come out in the first play, get a turnover.
Barney Fife would say he wanted to nip it in the bud.
What's that show, huh?
All the time. Turner hits the outside jumper. Kentucky by 3.
Good pressure again by Turner on Spivey. When the guy creates a turnover, come back after him again when he's got the ball.
Harpering, nice drive, too strong. And Kentucky looking to run.
Shepard on the left.
That's who he goes to. Shepard off the glass, a chance. Nope, wait a minute. Offensive foul. No basket. Bobby Smith can't believe it.
Maybe one of those situations where, Brad, I think perhaps he wanted to pull up and take the jump shot. See, he's got the open shot right there, but instead forces the issue and goes strong to the basket. I thought it was a pretty good call, actually.
Even with that, Kentucky by 3. This is the biggest lead they've had since it was 14-10 in the first 4 minutes of the game.
Shepard and Maddox about to get into it over there.
A good battle between
Maddox away.
A good battle between a couple of Georgia guys. Maddox, nice move in the paint. A good look to Jones. Harpering, second effort.
Tech doing a nice job on the offensive glass to start this second half. Jones, Harpering, and Maddox, all 3 around the basket.
Kentucky had a 6-rebound advantage in the first half. Wildcats by 1. Almost 3 minutes into the second half.
Good double screen for Turner.
Oh, he gave up a 3, but he buried the deuce.
All right, the question becomes, all right, you take the step in and take the deuce. You feel more comfortable from that range. than you do a little bit further out.
He obviously did, and he drained it. And Wayne's got 9.
Pressure again by Kentucky. Padgett out top on Spivey. I don't think that's a good matchup.
Nope. Padgett's saying somebody else get this guy. He and Turner need to switch off. So far they haven't. Long jumper by Glover's off the mark. McGlure will clear it off the backside. Padgett pulls up on the other end. And it goes just inside the three-point line.
That was a friendly Kentucky roll right there.
Was it ever.
All right, take a look at what Kentucky's able to do offensively. When they set double screens for Turner, watch Turner right here. Now, he's the key to this. Watch the double screen. Now, he comes right across the top, catches the ball. The good double screen frees him. He looks up, nobody around him. Then he moves inside the lane to can the two-point field goal.
Dion Glover.
16-20 remaining in the ball game, and Kentucky leading by 5. Spine's now playing the point for Georgia Tech. And Glover is out of there.
Good ball movement by Tech.
Floyd, long jumper. Had to go over Padgett, adjusted his shot, and threw up an air ball.
Well, when you set the screen, you got to have a guy come up and help on defense. Padgett came out, threw both hands up, and he shot nothing but air.
Bobby Cremins now trying to do his coaching to the two of the freshmen, and Michael Maddox there on his right is the senior. He's trying to get those two's head back in this game before it's too late.
Somebody asked Bobby about playing this game. He said, I like playing Kentucky. We find out what we're about.
Strong hook shot by McGlure. He gave it a fake to one way and came back and buried it for a 7-point Wildcat advantage.
You know, Brad, you never know which one of those centers is going to show up offensively. It's been Mohammed recently, but today it's been McGlure.
Yep. Mohammed was SEC Player of the Week, and now today McGlure's taken over. Machado, nice touch pass to Jones. Whoa, all kinds of people around him as he tried to go up.
I was talking about the offensive work of the centers. Watch Jamal McGlure right here against Alvin Jones. Good post-up position down inside. A little turn, a little fake. Come back to the other side. And once again, if you're against a shot blocker, get up against him. Don't get away from him. McGlure with a nice move.
Good point, and it was.
And a substitution.
Kentucky off to a super start here in the first 5 minutes of the second half.
Michael Maddox.
Maddox is going to check back in. Ozzie Muhammad on the bench played a good majority of the first half.
Checking in the lineup will be.
Might have to rework. Now it's the other elbow. Alvin Jones is saying, wait a minute. If I was going to get in a heavyweight fight, I wanted Gil Clancy in my corner.
The cut doctor.
McGlure's looking too. I don't think either one of them quite knows. There's some blood obviously on somebody's jersey, and maybe neither knows where it's coming from. Loose ball, and Turner's going to pick up the foul.
Yeah, McGlure's got the blood. It's on his uniform on the backside over there. Also on his backside.
If Chuck Wepner shows up, we've got a complete thing going on here. Just in case Muhammad Ali's watching the game, we thought we'd throw a Chuck Wepner line in there. Floyd down low to Harpering. He wants everybody to clear out of his way. That's the reason, but he missed the shot, and Edwards will get the rebound.
Nice look. Padgett nails a three. Boy, Turner with a nice move. Good pass. Wide open on the right side was Padgett. One thing I like about Turner, he's always got his head up looking for somebody.
About 4 minutes ago, we said Padgett hadn't scored in the game. Now he has 7, and Georgia Tech throws it away again. This is what Kentucky can do and kill you. All of a sudden, they're up double figures.
Muhammad.
Another timeout, Georgia Tech. 22nd timeout taken by the Yellow Jackets, in the Big Blue looking that way right now, 51-39.
You know, Brad, in all the games I've watched Kentucky play this year, Clemson, Purdue, they have been in a situation where they get these kind of spurts. They'll jump out there, and they'll play even with somebody, and all of a sudden they'll hit you with a 10 or 12-point run. They did it at the end of the first half, and they picked it up again here in the second half. Good steal by Edwards.
Now watch him push the ball up the floor. Looking. There's Turner. Turner catches it, looks, nobody there. There's my favorite target on the other side. Padgett gets it in there, and he throws it to Muhammad for an easy one inside.
Well, you can tell Nazi and Jamal have been working against each other with that hook shot. You could put one over the other, and if you didn't see the number, you wouldn't know the difference. They shoot it exactly the same way. And both effectively. So it's all Kentucky in this last 5 minutes.
13-5 to end the first half and 15-2 to start the second.
Yep. Kentucky perfect, 8 for 8.
Machado almost lost the ball out of bounds.
Now Georgia Tech needs Glover now to come to life, and he almost threw the ball away there.
One of the things Kentucky's doing now when Glover gets the basketball, you see how quickly they're converging on him? If he beats his man, they're getting a lot of offside help. They're going to have to because this guy is really quick to the basket.
Georgia Tech's going to have to hustle to get it inbound. Spivey goes down on a running jumper as he was pushed. That's going to be Turner. That's Wayne Turner's third foul. That could come into play a little bit. In fact, he's already headed to the bench. And Smith, the freshman, takes his spot.
I'll tell you one thing, Saul doesn't look at all like his brother, Gigi.
No, he doesn't. Gigi, the starting point guard for Georgia, of course, and Saul played at Clark Central in Athens when his dad, Tubby, was the head coach of the Bulldogs.
I think they played a little one-on-one when they were growing up.
Absolutely.
Brothers. You think Dad jumped in there occasionally?
Probably. There's Tubby with George Felton, and this is a weird game for George, too. He used to be the assistant head coach at Georgia Tech under Bobby Cremins before going on to South Carolina as head coach.
He made 2 stops there. He's there from 81 to 86, and then after South Carolina, came back to help Bobby for a year. There's George. Does an outstanding job. Was up at St. John's for a little while. And out west at Oregon State.
Edwards runs down and gets it to Muhammad. Nice little fadeaway. Faded too much. Smith with a loose ball rebound. And last touch by Sauls. He went sliding out of bounds. Nice hustle, but it'll be Georgia Tech ball.
Watch again. You'll see the battle underneath. Smith comes up. He takes it away from Jones. And Spivey comes over and takes it away from him.
And Georgia Tech just gave it away from themselves. Long down court pass out of bounds. Georgia Tech now getting sloppy. That's their 14th turnover. They trail by 10. Shepard pass. Nice entry to Edwards. He missed in close, a little too strong off the glass. And a push on Saul Smith working against Travis Spivey.
Pretty tough for Smith to keep up with Spivey going down that sideline. If you're going to defend, you can use the sideline, just force him out to the sideline. Spivey's got an awful lot of quickness down there. I like this freshman.
Here was the Kentucky hero of the first half right there, Evans. As Edwards goes out, Eshimu Evans is the guy that kept the Kentucky boat afloat, if you will, in that first half because they were in some serious trouble. And he sort of took over, scored 8 points, and kept them in the ballgame. Glover buries a three. Big shot.
And Shepard couldn't do any more than what he did on defense.
He was right there every step of the way, hand up.
Here's Evans.
How many clubs can reach down and grab a guy like Eshimu Evans and bring him off of the bench? They've also got Mohammed. It's a very deep Kentucky team. They go about 9 or 10 deep.
Maddox, he'll try a three. Too short. Harpering gets the rebound and was tripped.
I think Harpering spends more time on the floor than he does standing up. There's Matt. Known that young man for a long, long time. Known his family. He's a very competitive guy.
Most
All
of
of
them
his brothers
sitting.
played football too.
Most of them sitting right behind Bobby Cremins at the Georgia Tech bench, I noticed. Jack over there. Got a lot of the family members here.
I asked him, I said, you got enough tickets? He said, well, I did have to take some of the other players' tickets.
Yeah, those guys have to swap them off at times. Glover thought about a three, drives for that one. Nazi Muhammad. A tough rebound. 53-44 Kentucky. Edwards all the way.
You know, that everything just sort of opened up for him. Everybody was looking around for somebody to pass to. Edwards was. Nobody was there. The defense just relaxed, and he went right down the middle.
Nobody cut him off at the pass. Harpering alone for a triple. And they foul Muhammad as they battled for that rebound.
Once again, now, Allen Edwards moving with the ball down the middle. As he turns, looks, nobody's there, and neither is the defense. Well, that's an easy one. He'd like to have that all the time.
Oh, I guess. That was one of those I got him, you take him defenses by Georgia Tech, and Edwards nails it. He's got 8 points, and the lead is up to 11 again.
But I think it's really important to have guys like Edwards and Shepard, good seniors around, particularly Shepard, a fifth-year senior.
Muhammad pushed by Jones on the baseline. Alvin picks up his second. And Harpering getting a little bit of a breather. He and Deion Glover leading Georgia Tech with 14 each. Matt missed that game against. Here's a steal by Glover, but he stepped out of bounds.
Boy, Allen Edwards was lucky that time. Tubby Smith was up off of the bench on that pass by Edwards. That's a difficult pass to make all the way across the lane to the opposite corner. Kentucky having difficulty inbounding the ball today.
Evans gave up a 3 and drives the paint.
Nobody defending for Georgia Tech down the middle.
Somebody better stand in there pretty soon. It's a 13-point lead, the biggest of the game for Kentucky.
Steal by Padgett.
The wheels are falling off the Ramblin' Wreck right now, though Kentucky just gave it back. We've got a timeout. 11:47 remaining in the game, and fifth-ranked Kentucky spreads it out to a 13-point lead. Kentucky by 13 over Georgia Tech with 11:47 remaining in the second half. I'd like to remind you, join host Keith Jackson as the Classic Sports Network presents Bowl Week. Catch Ohio State and Arizona State in last year's Rose Bowl thriller tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Then Monday at 8, Texas and Earl Campbell, Notre Dame and Joe Montana. Dramatic 78 Cotton Bowl. If you don't have the Classic Sports Network, contact your local cable operator.
You've seen a few football games this year.
I've seen a few football games. I got a few more to see, as a matter of fact. Kentucky has turned this game around by going 11 of 13 in the second half from the field. That's 85%. Georgia Tech has gotten sloppy with the basketball, and Tech led by 11 in the first half, won by halftime, and now it's falling apart for them. Let's see if Bobby Cremins has gotten it back together for him. Shepard strips it from Harpering.
One of the things Tech's got to do is they've got to get a little bit more organized on offense. They're having difficulty getting the ball on the inside. Of course, a lot of that has to do with Kentucky's pressure, too. They get after the basketball and make it very difficult to penetrate.
Floyd, 3 rattled out. Another strong rebound for Nazir Mohammed.
Well, Mohammed is just such a different player
yes, he is.
than he was last year.
Edwards got 3 on the baseline, drew a foul from Maddox. That's 3 on Maddox.
Right, there are a combination of factors that I think make Kentucky a lot better as we take a look at this crowd. Rupp Arena, for the fabled Adolph Rupp, a man that I knew very well.
Your old coach. Brad Nessler and Larry Conley with you from a facility we're very familiar with. Done a lot of games in here, and there aren't too many places that are more fun to watch a basketball game.
Follow up on that thought that I was having just a few moments ago about the factors that I think is going to make Kentucky a really good club this year. One is obviously the outside play of Wayne Turner, but also I think the 2 big guys on the inside, McLaurin and Mohammed, have really picked their game up. They've become a more established offensive threat, and I think that really helps the other players. Padgett needs to pick his shooting up a little bit, and obviously Shepard beginning to show signs that he's coming out of his shooting.
What they don't have, wow. How many times could that go around the rim and finally fall in for Raiders? What they don't have is a superstar type player that's going to get you 20 every night, like a Ron Mercer or a Derek Anderson, but they do have a lot of different guys that do other things well. And an offensive foul on Deion Glover. His game has diminished in the second half.
Well, the other thing, too, you know, Kentucky's always had a pretty good bench. They've been able to reach down there and get 2 or 3 guys. I really think they could go almost 5 deep on that bench. Got a lot of different looks and a lot of different options. And, you know, as a coach, you always like to have options. That's important to have when you go into a tough game.
Talk about a team having a deep bench. Did you watch Duke last Wednesday night? They've got their seats go out of the arena at Cameron. I think they have to seat guys outside.
And all of them can play.
And all of them can play. I was amazed in that game Wednesday night.
Muhammad with a steal and the outlet to Evans. Leaves it for Edwards and Paget, and a foul coming up on Spivey, and a good foul, I guess, if there is such a thing, by Travis, because that was tremendous movement with the basketball, and then the freshman did the only thing he could, and he mugged Paget.
You got to love the unselfish play. I mean, each guy had a chance to score a bucket here. Look at this long pass. Good catch by Evans. He actually could have taken it in right here. Decided not to. Gave it up. Edwards could have taken it. He gave it up. Then Paget draws the foul.
As great as that was to watch, Edwards probably should have taken the shot. Might have been one too many passes, but I think they're going to get their 2 points out of it anyway, because Paget is 14 of 15 from the free throw line this year.
I really feel like Evans could have taken it. He was the guy closer.
That's
and
true.
the first option.
Jack Paget has only missed 1 free throw all season, and he has had quite a second half. As soon as we said he hadn't scored, he has started to light it up. Has 9 points. Just picked up the foul, however, on the full court pressure. That's his 3rd.
Brad, to go back and also talk a little bit about Bobby Cremel. You know, I asked him yesterday about playing this game, you know, playing Kentucky, and I said earlier in the first half, he loves to play Kentucky. He said, look, I've got freshmen. I need to find out what they can do, and this is really baptism under fire. I mean, you put guys out there, guys like Alvin Jones. You know Glover's a good player, but you get a feel for Travis Spivey. And the guys who are young coming in here to play in this environment, I think shows a lot of what kind of club they're going to have, and I think they're going to have a good year.
Will only make them battle tested for later in the ACC, that's for sure. Shepard now running the show at the point.
The ACC is loaded with good teams.
More is it ever. 7 in the top 25 as we were mentioning earlier.
Little jump hook again by the Z.
Yeah, you were talking about Duke earlier. How about North Carolina? Are they loaded with talent?
Yes, they are.
I'll tell you, it's the best starting 5 since the introduction of the Spice Girls.
Well, you'll see them tonight against Princeton on ESPN. Number 20, Princeton goes into Chapel Hill against the 2nd-ranked Tar Heels. Part of our sports day and night. Almost the midway point of the second half, and all of a sudden Kentucky by 18. And it just seems like a distant memory that Georgia Tech led at halftime and had a big lead at one point in the first half. Michael Maddox working against Shepard, a couple of seniors.
Maddox really handles the ball well for a guy 6'9", doesn't
Yes,
he?
he does.
Shoots it well.
Glover got a pick.
Oh, look at that
Weaves
crossover.
through. Nice move.
What a great crossover. Is there going to be a charge? Got a player control foul. Boy, that's too bad. That was some move.
The basket will be good, but the foul is on Deion Glover.
Watch this crossover dribble here. Gets down inside. Oh, that's nice. Well, he left Nazir Mohammed just standing.
There just wasn't much space there, was there?
No. Excellent move. Boy, is this guy going to have a great career.
Credit Jeff Shepard, who's already broken a tooth for taking that charge. Edwards, 3. Glover off the backside. Georgia Tech will try to run. 3-on-2. Harpering trying to backpedal to get outside the 3-point line out to his favorite spot and lost his balance, and the pass went the other way.
Always remember, the first thing you do is look the pass into your hands. Don't try to get in position to shoot until you've caught the ball.
Wayne Turner checking in for Jeff Shepard.
Wayne Turner in and Jeff Shepard out. 62-46 as we approach 9.5 minutes in the ball game. Kentucky trying to win its 6th straight ball game. And their only loss was to Arizona in the Maui Invitational. Nice little fade by Nazir Mohammed again.
I'm telling you, the elevation of the offensive game of these two centers has made Kentucky really formidable.
Harpering around a pick on the baseline for 3. And Mohammed had his hand on the rebound, lost it to Jones, and then fouled him.
That was Mohammed. That's his
Kentucky with a much different lineup right now out there with Anthony and Turner, Evans, Edwards, and Muhammad. He's coming out, and McGlory's coming in. So those, well, they might have to wait one free throw, but those interchangeable centers, if you will, both playing well today. And Georgia Tech center, the freshman out of Lakeland, Florida, going to the free throw line. And Allen, his first point of the second half. Now McGlory checks back in, and Cameron Mills comes in as well into the Kentucky backcourt.
Brad, those numbers we ran on Mohammed and McGlory at the beginning of the show, talking about what that position has been giving Kentucky this year. You know, in minutes played, those guys are almost right down the middle, 17 minutes apiece.
You don't even have to call one a starter and one the sixth man, basically. Alvin Jones got them both. His first points in the second half. But it's still 64-48 now. Kentucky in front. Anthony almost walked with it and then had it stripped from behind by Glover.
That's one freshman showing another freshman how to play.
Dion missed the outside jumper. Ball goes up and McGlory snatches it. Here's the outlet to Heshibu Evans.
Big time. Send it down. Oh, my. And Glover was right up there with him.
Harpering on the other end for Georgia Tech.
Good dish by Spivey. He got it inside on the baseline. Matt Harpering right there to stick it in. Tech with good recovery after a dynamic dunk.
Cameron Mills, good outside shooter. Missed that one. Maddox, nice position on the rebound. Kentucky by 16 as we approach 8 minutes. Glover thought about going straight up on Evans. Works for that shot. Threw it over the rim. Didn't touch anything. Turner the other way. And Michael Maddox plays some nice defense. The outlet to Harpering. It's a 2-on-1. Matt's going to pull up. Missed it, but got it back. And now finds Glover all alone for three. And he nails it.
Good pass by Harpering. He had a chance the first time coming down the floor to give it to Glover. Decided to take the three and then ended up giving it to him anyway.
Dion Glover, the freshman's on his average. Even though Georgia Tech's down 13, he has 19 points. Boy, he's going to be kind of special, isn't he? You bet. Anthony misses. McGlory, though, keeps it alive. Wayne Turner looks over to Coach Tubby Smith and backs it out.
Georgia Tech looks a little tired to me, Brad.
Yes, they do. Evans, nice penetration. McGlory on the dish from Evans.
Sometimes you can tell on defense when the club begins to get tired, they're not reacting with their hands and their feet. Kentucky just ran that offense at will. They could have gone anywhere they wanted to go.
Maddox backing in on Anthony. Spivey will try a triple. Rattled out on it. Cameron Mills comes out of the pile. The outlet to McGlory.
How about the catch by McGlory? How many 16 guys you know can catch it, not put it on the floor, and go straight up?
Georgia Tech, no help in the backcourt for Maddox. He had nobody to throw it into because Spivey was covered.
And a 5-second violation.
And a 5-second violation against Georgia Tech, and not only tired physically, but a little bit mentally there. Heshibu Evans, and Kentucky in command. Kentucky was down by 1 at the break. They lead by 17 with 6:24 left in this one. Coming up this weekend, be sure to tune in to ABC Sports for coverage of this year's Diners Club matches from La Quinta, California. Doubles match play tournament features top stars of the PGA, LPGA, and senior PGA tours. Third round action begins at 4 today on ABC. Brad Nessler and Larry Conley with you from Rupp Arena in Lexington, where Kentucky is taken over with balanced scoring in the second half, especially. And look at all the guys in the score column, and at some point you look there and you say, you know, before this one's over, they could have 7 guys in double figures. Foul underneath is going to be called on Maddox.
You know, Brad, going back to your point, and I think it really is a good point. The fact that they don't have anybody they can go to that they can depend on every night to get 20 or 25, like Anderson, like Mercer. But on the other side of the coin, it's also good to have 7 or 8 guys up there who can score 15 to 20 points for you every night, because no one can concentrate on any one player on this Kentucky squad and shut them down.
Absolutely. It's so hard. That's the point right there. Is it's so hard to defend a team that has so many different people that can put it in the hoop. Edwards had a little bit of trouble from the free throw line. Harpering.
Kentucky's had the problem all year long. They're only shooting 65% from that line.
Glover on a runner. 21 for Dion Glover. Here's the outlet. McGlore's open again. Jones is tired getting back on defense, although he did get the ball loose. And now Georgia Tech runs back the other way. Maddox and Glover. And McGlore with a big-time foul on Dion Glover.
You noticed how Glover always seems to pop up where the ball is. I mean, he's around it. Good hustle that time by McGlore to get back to deny the easy layup to Glover.
Dion out of Decatur, Cedar Grove High School, and as Larry mentioned earlier, heavily recruited by a lot of schools, and felt that Georgia Tech was a place he would be able to contribute the quickest, and I think he called that pretty well, because Bobby Cremins over the years has put freshmen in the position of being scorers, a lot of them along the way. There's Mark Prices and Travis Best and
Stephon Marbury,
Kenny Anderson. You can go down right down the list. Tom Hammonds, James Forrest.
Yeah, there was a period there. They got the ACC Rookie of the Year every year. It was almost by birthright.
They had 8 of them, and they had 2 guys finish second. They called it for a while the string of pearls, all the ACC Rookies of the Year they put together. McGlore had the opening on the baseline, finally realized it, and missed the reverse layup. A little bit lost in where he was under the basket.
I think that's a move he's never attempted.
Yeah, that's probably true. For the fresh 35, Shepard around a pick for 3.
Well, you can see that one coming. Harpering was trailing, and he actually got a step and a half on him, and Shepard was up in the air and had it released before Harpering got there.
So Jeff becomes another of the Wildcats in double figures. He's got 10. Maddox sets up for 3. Doesn't miss too many of those outside there. Harpering keeps it alive, trying to get the outlet to Maddox, and is pushed.
Take a look at right here. Now, you're going to see Shepard right there. Now, he and Harpering are trailing. All right, now watch Harpering trailing around this screen. There's the screen. Now, once he gets around the screen, see Harpering's trailing. Shepard's already got it up and gone before Harpering can get his hand up. Great move, good offensive maneuver that time by Kentucky. Shepard very quick with that shot.
Matt Harpering, 16 points on the game. Harpering was the MVP of the Puerto Rico shootout. Georgia Tech was a winner over Louisville in the final there. Came back, lost to North Carolina State, as Larry mentioned, in overtime in their ACC opener, and then throttled Delaware State without Matt Harpering last week. Matt played on a bad ankle part of that North Carolina State game, and has it heavily taped here today. And I've noticed him just in the last couple of minutes starting to favor it a little bit. 5-minute mark remaining. Nazir Muhammad loses the handle. Georgia Tech will run the other way. Glover didn't have numbers. Shepard. Oh, goaltending. Well, it looked good.
Still counts.
It still does. That's 24 for Dion Glover. Well, now Padgett has a little trouble in the backcourt. Turner now, 2-on-1. He's going to pull up, take it over Jones. And the foul is going to be underneath on Matt Harpering. And for Matt, that's 4.
Hey, anytime you get the ball in the hands of Turner, particularly against a press, and he's 2-on-1, something good's going to happen. That time he missed the shot, but he had an easy one.
So Muhammad will go to the free throw line.
I'll tell you one thing this young man has done. He has improved his free throw shooting. Remember that 0 for 6 outing against Arizona in the national championship game last year? He went 6 for 6 against them in Maui.
He is getting ready to join the double-figure crew here if he hits this free throw. He was the SEC Player of the Week. He was also the MVP in one of the games we had up in Chicago in the grade 8, playing in his hometown where he played his high school ball.
Fred, really to his credit, he's a young man that's really made himself a better player. I guess he has got a great work ethic, and he comes out and works at it hard every day.
Glover got his man in the air. A great move to get off the shot. And going to be a push underneath on Kentucky as Jones was trying to get the rebound. Paget picks up his fourth.
You think Glover's athletic? Watch this. Nice move. Look at that turn right there after he got Turner up in the air. Turner missed the shot, and the push underneath by Paget allows Jones to go to the line.
Alvin Jones back to the free throw line. He's a nice addition to Georgia Tech, too. The freshman, Alvin Jones III. His dad was a good ball player and was also his high school coach. Paget comes out.
Had a good second half, Paget did.
Yes, he did.
A very dismal first half.
Jones got the second. 7 points on the game. Lead is 13 for Kentucky. Shepherd wants to pull it out, use a little clock here with 4.5 to go in the ballgame. Nice feed inside of Muhammad. Tough catch. Reverse layup goes.
One of the things Kentucky has really concentrated on in this second half is getting the ball inside. They've been able to go to McGlure. They've also been able to go to Muhammad. Watch the good lob pass by Edwards over Jones. Offside help by Maddox. Not there. Jones committing the foul. Well, Nazir Mohammed with a nice catch. Hands so much improved.
Have we ever done a game, Mr. Conley,
look at Edwards leaning it in.
We ever had a game where we've had 7 players in double figures?
I can't ever remember one.
I think we might before this one's over. Muhammad got in double figures with that layup, even though he missed the free throw. Shepherd gets it back. Edwards trying to track it down and does. Nice hustle by Allen Edwards. Evans. And Georgia Tech can't buy a rebound right now. Jones is going to pick up the foul. That's going to be his fourth.
Shepherd wanted that dunk desperately. He was floating through the air, but Alvin Jones was not about to let him dunk it. And maybe Bobby Kremen's got on his club a little bit for those 2 easy layups that Kentucky got going down the middle. Shepherd tried to do the same thing, and Jones says, nope, not this time.
Jeff Shepherd steps up. He's in double figures with 10.
Can you tell that missing tooth in the front there?
Muhammad and McGlure, the combination, which was what we talked about when we opened up the game today. That's pretty good.
That's just about right on their numbers. They've been averaging 14 points at that center position. They're averaging 14 rebounds at that center position.
Jeff with 12 points, and I'm sure a dentist appointment as soon as this game's over. 78-61, 4 minutes left in the ball game. Glover. He's been the man for Georgia Tech.
By Glover.
Well, what an outstanding year this young man's going to have.
27 points. Shepherd on the baseline, maybe been a little bit intimidated by Jones underneath, altered the shot, and Maddox will pull it down and go the other way. Harpering. Give Jeff Shepherd the assist on that.
Yeah, Shepherd, you never throw the ball back in under your opponent's basket. Harping was right there to grab it, and an easy layup for him.
Baseline jumper off the mark, but a foul.
Foul is on Spivey, his third.
Spivey picks up his third. Following this one, a week off for Kentucky, and then they'll be home to take on Tubby Smith's old school, Tulsa, coming up a week from today. For Bobby Cremens and Georgia Tech, they've got Coastal Carolina during the week, and then Louisville at the Delta Airlines Classic that Larry and I'll bring you next Saturday at noon. So we know where we'll be exactly 7 days from now.
I think you and I are starting to like these noon starts.
I like that, yeah. Especially when we're home next week.
Well, Tubby Smith right there with his hand on his forehead. He's got nothing to worry about today. His club played well. Wayne Turner had a good day today.
I think he's pretty happy to be home, too, this whole Kentucky team after all their travels. And now Turner likewise in double figures with 10. And with 3:16 left, Kentucky 79-66.
Coming up immediately after hoops, Kazi Koshulik leads a high-scoring New Haven offense against Northern Colorado for the Division II National Championship. And now back to Lexington, Brad and Larry.
All right, and a guy that knows a little bit about football has joined us. One of the heroes in this state after the season he put together. Tim Couch, a sensational quarterback for the Wildcats. Tim, nice to have you along with us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
About 3,900 yards and 37 touchdowns. Just an average year for you, right?
Well, it was a good start for us. We had a good first year under Coach Mummy, and we're looking forward to bigger and better things in the future.
Tim, I know you played a lot of high school basketball, and there was some consideration on your part maybe to walk in on here.
Yeah, I thought about it for a while. You know, football is kind of an all-around thing, and you lift in the off-season things, trying to stay in shape, so I really didn't have a whole lot of time for it.
Going to ask you another football question here as we watch Georgia Tech bring it up. Just hang with us. Got a whistle and a push out on top against Hashimu Evans. Tonight, Tim, as you got the AT&T Long Distance Award for passing yardage here at halftime.
Quarterback, Tim Couch.
And that's a nice honor and a tremendous season, and really put the program kind of back on the map, you and Coach Mummy, and we congratulate you on that. And there's the coach. He came out and was the Y in Kentucky a little while ago in one of the cheers. But tonight is our Heisman show, and I know you have some feelings about that. We've got it at 7:30 on ESPN. What do you think?
I think it's going to be a really close race. There's all four candidates are great football players, and I don't think you can go wrong with picking any one of those guys, and I think they'll represent the trophy well.
A lot of people have already put your name in the hopper definitely for next year, but the numbers you put together this year, you were even mentioned in that area, and I know you do have some strong feelings, and I'm not trying to push one way or another, but you had some comments late in the season about Peyton Manning and what he's meant to college football.
I really think so. I think Peyton's he's just a tremendous thing for college football, staying for his final year, turning down all the money, you know, and the glory of the NFL. And, you know, I just think he represents college football well, and he had a great year, and everything worked out for the best for Peyton.
I understand you guys have some commitments already from some offensive players that'll help you out a little bit next year.
Yeah, we do. We got a commitment from Bobby Blizzard, a great tight end prospect, and he's really going to come in and help us out a lot. And Martez Johnson out of Michigan is another recruit we got. And, you know, we got several other guys that's really going to come in and help us a lot as well.
Alan Edwards fouled underneath with 2:47 left, 79-66. Well, we want to thank you for joining us. Congratulations again on the award you got at halftime, and I hope those numbers keep piling up, because when I wasn't doing a game, I was either looking for your highlights or trying to check you out somewhere along the line. Tim Couch, congratulations on a great year.
Thank you. I appreciate it, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, pleasure to see you.
Thank you.
Tim Couch, sensational quarterback for the Kentucky Wildcats, and Coach Mummy. And we thank him for joining us. You talk about a high school legend that became instant collegiate legend this year in this state, in a football-starved community, if you will, in a basketball-crazy place. And he really turned the folks on, and they started selling out the stadium, and that fast-paced, fast break type offense of Coach Mummy's with Tim Couch at the controls was something to watch. Edwards throws it up off the glass after missing the second free throw.
You know, Brad, before we came on, I had a chance to talk to Tim a little bit. I said, Tim, I understand you were a pretty good player in high school. He says, yeah, my junior year I averaged 37. But he says, my senior year I was hurt. I only averaged 31 points a game playing basketball.
He led the state in scoring as a junior, and there was talk about him walking on with Rick Pitino, but pretty time-consuming sport, especially when you're the quarterback. He's a special one and is going to be even better.
That is his second.
There's Tubby Smith. He's having a special day today. His club's about ready to rack up their 8th win. I'll tell you what, they've taken a toll just about every conference so far in this country.
That's right.
They've got Clemson, and now they'll get Georgia Tech, both out of the ACC.
Hashimu Evans has 14 points, getting a breather. McGlure has 12. Muhammad at the free throw line with 11. Edwards 12. Turner 10. Shepard 12. And that means if we could just find a way to get Scott Padgett one more free throw, we would have a game with 7 players on the same team in double figures, and I don't think you're going to see that often. And he got the second. Nazee with a dozen. 83-66. Glover way outside. Missed a 3. Muhammad another rebound. Let's see if Padgett pulls up and hits one. I don't mean to talk the guy into more offense, but that would be something I'd like to see. That many people in double figures.
I don't think Bobby would like it.
No, I don't think so. Loose ball comes out to Deion Glover. Head to Harpering. Tough catch. And that one tipped, and it still went in.
I'll tell you one thing, that shows a little bit of the athletic ability of Matt Harpering. He altered his run down through there to be able to make that catch to get it in.
Glover hustling around. He leads Georgia Tech with 27. Harpering now has 20.
Deion Glover
Two guys that have played most of the game, and they do have to be dragging around a little bit against the depth of the Wildcats. And I just saw Travis Spivey sort of stick his tongue out as if to try to get a little more oxygen in the lungs here in Rupp Arena. Glover sits with 27. That's one off his career high that he had against Delaware State. And 22nd timeout taken by Kentucky as again they have trouble with the inbound pass against Georgia Tech's pressure. Now, we were talking about what we have coming up tonight. We mentioned the Heisman show, and then at 8:30 following the Heisman show, it's number 20 Princeton. They're looking for an upset. They are unbeaten in ranked 20 as they take on the second-ranked Tar Heels of North Carolina and Antoine Jamison tonight. All gets underway at 8:30. More hoops on ESPN.
One of the things you hate to do against Princeton is you hate to play defense against them, and they just take care of the basketball. They get good three-point shots or they get layups. You know, one of the things you like to do as an offensive player is play offense.
Absolutely.
And you don't get that chance when you play Princeton. Sometimes that patience wears very thin.
Saul Smith brings it up court. Down to the final minute 35 of this one, as Kentucky's going to go to 8-1. They'll keep their number 5 ranking. Paget, hey, there's his chance. He had his chance to hit double figures. Floyd on the other end. And loose ball picked up. And a foul on Maddox, and that's going to do it on Michael. He's going to foul out. He'll leave with 7 points.
Gives Michael Bradley a chance to break into the scoring column.
Will be his 5th foul of the game.
And at 42-13 there, McGlure and Muhammad, who we talked about before the game started, and as a combination, they put together a nice afternoon. I think the guy that saved this game, though, is Shimu Evans. In the first half, kept it close enough because Georgia Tech led 27-16. And Evans helped spark that run in the final 5 minutes of the first half. 14-5 run for Kentucky that got them back to within a point at halftime. And they have dominated since. There he is. Evans, the transfer from Manhattan.
For the Cats, checking in the lineup.
Once again, it's nice to have a guy that you can reach over there and put out there to play and know that you're going to get the kind of effort out of Evans, particularly defensively. I think he's really strong on the defensive end.
Don't forget New Haven and Northern Colorado Division II championship. Follows hoops. Stay right where you are. Floyd tracks down the rebound. And Georgia Tech throws it away. And way too many of those in the second half. I don't think Bobby Crevin's troops have anything to hang their head about, though. Coming into Rupp Arena, most teams go home with a loss. And they will, but I'm sure the young guys have learned something out of this.
1 minute left in the game.
Final minute.
Brad, I just felt like in the second half, there was a point at about the 12-minute mark where they looked really fatigued, but they just didn't pick it up. Defensively, they just weren't doing anything. They weren't moving their feet.
Floyd goes up against Smith. Saul Smith will pick up the foul. 83-68, and one of those kind of days for the senior Matt Harper, but he put together his normal outing, 20 points.
You know, you and I have talked a lot about the Atlantic Coast Conference this afternoon, about how good it is. How about the SEC? They've got a couple of clubs already in the Eastern Division. I mean, there's South Carolina undefeated, Tennessee's undefeated, and certainly Kentucky's going to have a good year.
Well, I saw you
got all their starters back.
And I saw you doing Arkansas the other night. Boy, do they look back.
Arkansas is back. I think they're going to have a great year. And Mississippi State were the two clubs they picked to win that Western Division.
Well, you and I will have fun traipsing around the Southeastern Conference this year. And a battle in the backcourt for the rebound.
It's going to be a tie. I'm going to go to Kentucky.
Still coaching with an 83-69 lead. And a lot of reserves from both teams in the lineup. Masiello nails it. Fans love him.
They gave him a day in Buffalo the other day.
That's right. Buffalo Mayor has the same last name. I guess they're not related, but three-pointer goes up. Here he comes again. If he can track down this pass, but it's out of bounds with 20 seconds left. Don't forget Division II NCAA football championship is just 20 seconds away. Don't forget the Heisman show tonight. North Carolina and Princeton. It's a big day in sports. ESPN, Spivey, that's his first field goal of the afternoon. And Masiello's just going to slow it down now, try to get it across the timeline, and that will do it. And that will do it for us as well. Kentucky goes to 8-1. Georgia Tech falls to 5-2. Final score, Kentucky 85, Georgia Tech 71. For Larry Conley and our ESPN crew, Brad Nessler saying so long from Lexington, Kentucky. This has been a presentation of ESPN, your worldwide leader in sports. Following a short break, it's the Division II NCAA Football Championship, so don't go away.